No matter how far we go, Zimbabwe's home. No matter how tough things get, Zimbabwe's home.
Hello my friend, welcome back to my channel. If you have been following along, you know I've been talking about relocating to Zimbabwe exit strategy phase 1. If you haven't watched it yet, please do. The video link is in the comment section. As promised in part 1, today I'm going to dive deep into the do's and don'ts of building in Zimbabwe. I will tell you stories that will help you to make the right decision during this process. Because if you're not careful, you're gonna lose a lot of money, you're gonna have headaches and heartaches. So please watch and listen carefully. So my sister called me one day. She was so excited. She told me she had found the perfect piece of land for me. It was facing the mountains. So I flew to Zimbabwe, met with the owner, met with the sub-book, and I was directly involved with the process. So tip number 1, if possible, make sure you're on the ground. But if you're not able to go to Zimbabwe, find somebody you trust, somebody with integrity, somebody with the fear of God, so that the transition goes smoothly without too many hiccups. Because if you choose somebody who is not trustworthy, when you are building and when you're doing anything that requires money, buying materials, paying the workers like the builders, the solar people, the plumbers, and if you say, well, I don't trust anyone, I don't trust any of my friends, I don't trust any of my relatives, then you need to seek outside help like professionals. So I can help you with connections of people who can actually help you with this transition of building, sourcing materials, everything. I can help you with that. Tip number 2, when you are buying building materials, I would suggest you buy between January, February, March, or maybe April. People are looking for money, so the demand will be low and you'll be able to buy your building materials for cheaper. Like right now, I am building a chicken coop for my chicken project, for our chicken project. So cement is costing maybe 10, 12, but if you build around November, December, it's expensive, maybe even $20. So know when to buy your materials. So if you buy your materials in those times I'm talking about, make sure you build right away, because if you wait, you will suffer some theft losses because people do steal. So make sure once you buy those things, you have the money set aside to start building right away. Because you don't want to wake up one day and all your bricks are gone or things are missing. Tip number 3, I will start with the story. My sister found this person who installs solar for the borehole, all the connections. So we asked for a quotation. She got a quotation, and yeah, it was fine. And at that time we were going to DOMBOSHAVA, and then we finally went to the on-site where the guy was about to build. So after he finished the job, we wanted to pay him, and the invoice was like double from the previous charge, and we were puzzled. So basically what had happened, he realized we were from the diaspora, and of course he saw a white person, and people think every white person is is very rich or wealthy, and it was a headache dealing with this guy. We finally paid him. We didn't pay double, but we paid more than what he had stated on the quotation. So it's very important to make sure before somebody starts a job, the job description, the duties are very clear, and the payment. So they need to sign. So after they are done the job, there's no confusion or misunderstandings, because everything is written. So make sure every transaction you do is written down and the person signs. Otherwise, it will cost you more money and headaches. So to those who provide services, if you're in Zimbabwe, piece of advice: when you're dealing with the diasporans, don't be too greedy, because they will drop you after the first job and they will never call you again. It's better to charge less and have repeat business. I'm not saying you should be taken advantage of, but what I'm saying is think of the long term. If you think about how much you're gonna milk them just for that once, you have lost. Because some people will ask, oh, who did your borehole? Who did your solar? Who did your building? Can you refer them to me? Like, if you are not a person of integrity, you're greedy, that person will never refer you. So you are losing a lot of money because of greediness. So before I tell you about the last tip, this is very crucial. It will either make you or break you, because we are talking about moving back for good to retire. So this is very important tip. So before I share the last tip, please like, share, and subscribe. I know many people will find this video helpful, because people are looking to transition back home, Zimbabwe or anywhere in Africa or Asia, and they need some kind of guidance. So I hope this one is going to help you to make the right decision. So please subscribe and share and like. All right, so the last tip, this is very, very, very important. Okay, so imagine you found your rural area, secluded area, or not secluded, and you start building, you invest thousands and thousands of dollars, and you are set for retirement, right? And then to discover while you are there or before you go to retire that your house is being demolished. Why? Because you have built on state land. So there are rules when you are building on state land. For example, if you find a secluded piece of land and you have a project you want to do, whether it's farming, whether it's tourism, there are steps you need to take. Because it's state owned, you have to go through the steps so that you can get your title deeds for that land. So back to my story. Phase 1 was about making the decision where to retire. I want to retire in Zimbabwe too. And then the next stage was to decide, do I want to retire in the rural area or in the city? So me, I love the rural area. So phase 1 can also include acquiring land to start a project. Because like I said last time, when you're in Zimbabwe, when you relocate, you need a residual income. So having a project while you are there helps. So for us, it was having a place to stay and then a place of business to operate so that we can have some income. That was my phase 1. So you can also make it as a phase 1 for yourself. You might even have only one property where it can be your residential, and also you can be conducting business if you want. So the steps I was sharing usually is for people who are going to start a business and they want to follow the procedure so that the land and their building is protected. In the case where the government says, oh, we have a project we want to do, we don't recognize you because you are not in our master plan, whatever, like the council. If they don't know you exist, you don't exist. So it's easy for them to come and take over, destroy your property. So make sure you follow those steps. So write in the comments, do you want me to come back part 3 with the requirements that are needed for you to register your business and for you to have property rights, title deeds to your place where you have built and you're doing projects? So if you do, please write in the comments. And if you have any other questions, please just feel free to put it in the comments. I will respond as soon as possible, depending on how much traffic I'm getting. I have great news. Phase 2 is coming up next. So ring the bell so that you get notified when I post the second phase of relocating to Zimbabwe exit strategy. So thank you so much for your comments, your likes, and your subscriptions. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Continue to share and subscribe.